So, how do you tackle a problem as huge as lifting millions of people out of poverty? Well, in a place like Bangladesh, which has made some incredible strides, the answer isn't just one single big idea. It's more like two different playbooks, working on completely different scales. Today, we're going to look at how a massive, top-down government plan and a super-focused grassroots effort both play a crucial part in changing a nation's future.
I mean, that's the fundamental question of development, isn't it? Do you try to design change from the very top with a huge national blueprint? Or do you build it from the ground up, helping local communities solve their own problems, one by one? As we're about to see in Bangladesh, the real answer isn't so simple. It's probably not an either-or situation at all.
So let's meet our two main players in this story. In one corner, you've got the heavyweight, the national government's Ministry of Agriculture, which has this enormous system-wide strategy. And in the other corner, you have the quick, agile force on the ground, a grassroots organization called Young Power in Social Action, or YPSA. They're all about direct, human-scale impact.
Okay, first up, let's dive into that national blueprint. This is the playbook that's all about scale, massive resources, and system-wide change. And it's focused on one of the most important sectors you can imagine for any country: agriculture.
To really get your head around the scale of this top-down approach, you just have to look at the budget. This number right here? That's what the Ministry of Agriculture has to work with for just 1 year. We're talking over 2.5 trillion taka. That's a massive investment, equivalent to billions of US dollars, all being directed from the top to basically reshape the entire nation's food system.
And here's how that money breaks down. The bigger chunk, that operating expenditure, well, that's what it costs just to run the ministry, to keep the lights on. But the really interesting part is that second number, development. That's the money set aside for new projects, for brand new research, and for modernizing infrastructure. It shows you this isn't just about maintaining things as they are, it's a huge proactive investment in building the future.
And the scope of what they do is just immense. The ministry is doing everything from high-tech genetic research on new crops, all the way down to training individual farmers on the ground. It's a total top-to-bottom approach. They manage the quality of seeds, the health of the soil, and even how food gets to the market. The whole point is to create this strong, self-sustaining system for the entire country.
And this huge mission is built on a really clear 4-part logic. Step 1, make more food with better, stronger crops. Step 2, get farmers the stuff they need, like good seeds and fertilizer. Step 3, protect the land itself so it stays healthy for years to come. And finally, Step 4, build out the markets and roads to connect all those farms to customers. It's a complete A to Z national strategy.
All right, now let's completely switch gears. We're going to pivot from that huge national blueprint to the individual person, from the entire system down to the street level. This is the world of grassroots action.
Just this one quote, it tells you everything you need to know about the difference in philosophy. Remember the government's goal? It was sustainable and profitable agriculture. UPS's goal is a poverty-free society where basic rights are ensured. See the shift? It moves from a systemic goal to a deeply, deeply human one.
And the way they work towards that goal is by focusing on the people who are so often missed by those big, sweeping plans. YPSA works directly with some of the most marginalized and vulnerable groups in society. They're not trying to change the whole system at once. They're trying to change the lives of the 5 million people they can actually reach, face to face.
And their whole method is personal, it's direct, and it's built on trust. Just look at this. YPSA's health workers are right there, in the community, building relationships one person at a time. This isn't some policy document being written in an office. This is actual healthcare happening on a mat in the middle of a village.
Let's look at a really concrete example to see how this works. It's called the Madhumita Project. This project is all about helping street-based sex workers, a group that is incredibly vulnerable and really hard for outsiders to reach. But look at the steps. It doesn't start with some government mandate. It starts with mapping, and then, crucially, building trust. Then they empower people from the community to become educators themselves. And only then do they provide direct services. It's a model that is built entirely from the bottom up.
So, we've got these two completely different playbooks. One is huge and macro, the other is small and micro. One is about systems, the other is about people. You'd think they'd be in conflict, right? But the really interesting part of the story is how they actually connect. So how do these two worlds actually meet? Well, let's go back to that big government plan for a second. A huge chunk of that massive budget gets translated into very real, tangible support for farmers.
Things like subsidies that make fertilizer affordable, programs for better seeds, and access to new farming technology.
And this is exactly where the two playbooks come together. The government's big plan can create a nationwide fertilizer subsidy. That's the power of the top-down approach. But it's an organization like YPSA that's on the ground, making sure that a farmer in some remote village actually knows the subsidy exists, understands how to get it, and can use it to really change your life.
The big takeaway here is that these aren't opposing forces at all. They're actually two essential parts of the same ecosystem. The top-down strategy is like building a giant reservoir of water. But the bottom-up action, that's the network of small irrigation channels that makes sure the water gets to the specific fields that need it most. It ensures nothing is wasted, then no one gets left behind.
So when you zoom out from all of this, you start to see that this isn't just a story about farming or healthcare. It's a story about how modern development really works. And this chart really reveals how linked these two approaches are. I mean, look at how the national agriculture budget is actually being spent. The biggest priorities aren't just technical things like crop yields. They're social issues, poverty reduction, gender advancement, climate change. This proves that the national blueprint isn't just about growing more food. It's about building a better society, and it shares the exact same ultimate goals as the grassroots organizations.
So in the end, it's pretty clear that real, effective development isn't about picking a side. It's about creating an ecosystem where both of these playbooks can do what they do best. You absolutely need the scale and the resources that a national strategy provides. That's like the strong trunk and high branches of a tree. But that tree is nourished by the deep, intricate roots of grassroots action, reaching every corner of the soil. You need both to make real progress.
And that leaves us with a really important question for the future. As we think about all the challenges the world is facing, where should we put our energy? Is it about designing even bigger, better, more perfect top-down blueprints? Or is it about funding thousands of individual grassroots efforts? Or is the real genius, the real key to solving our biggest problems, found somewhere in the middle, in that space where these two different worlds learn how to truly work as one?